Then when they turn into the majority, they want to control that same group, that same country over. So I think there's a lot to be said with about slowing, and does it sound discriminatory? It does sound discriminatory in a way, but of slowing an ethnic group or a religious group immigration policies down. I think the rest of the world, just countries like Poland and Bulgaria, those Eastern Bloc countries, Poland especially, they've closed all their immigration. They're very tight on immigration.
Yeah, they don't want anyone.
And they don't bring in any Arabs whatsoever, any Muslims whatsoever, because they want no terrorism in their country.
No,
it's kind of funny when they say that, because you're sticking it right out there. But that's what's happening slowly but surely. Europe has been, I would say, almost to the point now,
taken over.
Almost to the point now where it's a balance. It's a fight. The struggle is there now. Yeah. It's a war. Like you talked about a civil war. You're seeing that happen in England right now. But the United States, we're a little further off because
and you said Ireland too.
Our large population. We're a little further off because of our larger population, and also because our laws are. You come into this country, we have a set of laws you have to obey.
Allegedly,
it's also harder to get in here in the sense that not from an immigration standpoint, because there's a border between us and Europe.
Right. Whereas they just pass over, right? They pass over the ground, right? They just transport over. But speaking, you mentioned Dearborn, Michigan. How about the two? All through the reporting in the last 4 days since Halloween, 3 days since Halloween, they talked about a plot that was foiled by the FBI to create a mass terror situation like the one that was in France in 2015, where they killed 100 and some odd people, 150 people in a terrorist attack.
On the train or the bus?
It was a shoot. They went and they shot up different areas. I can't remember the exact situation of that terroristic plot, and that got carried out by Arab terrorists, by Muslim terrorists. And so they found two, possibly I think there's three that are involved. They were young kids. They were the 20-year-old, 22-year-old. One was named Muhammad Ali, which I thought was very, very funny. And they arrested him in Dearborn, Michigan. They were accumulating weapons and going to shooting ranges and trying to plot how they were going to go out on Halloween and just create chaos and havoc and mass murder. And they for the 3.5, 4 days, they just called them two youths. Now all of a sudden today they brought it out and you see them, and they're two Arab, maybe they're Arab Americans or maybe they're Arab immigrants, but they're two Arabs, Muslim Arabs by the names that they have taken. So you're seeing another increase or start or spark of terrorist activity and thought to happen in this country by that Muslim groups of immigrants that have come in and set up residence in predominantly now what are considered Muslim cities. Dearborn,
Chicago,
Minneapolis. I think Minneapolis, St. Paul is a huge Muslim population. I don't know about Chicago.
No,
I just know those are the two major ones. If you're Muslim, you're going. That's where you're going.
Yeah.
But they're setting up refuge in these cities, and they're sort of slowly but surely. You said they've infiltrated the police force.
Minneapolis.
Yeah. So I think the signs are there. The signs are there that we need to start to really think about this, and maybe as a government, as an administration, to control this, because it will at one point get out of hand.
Yeah, but as you stated, right now, the number one concern should be the government shutdown. And until that gets settled, do we deploy troops and resources over to Nigeria to prevent, obviously, to protect Christianity?
As a host of tonight's episode, I'll answer that. Normally, I'm the one spewing out the questions, but
sure.
I think that I at this point in time, I would not.
You would go.
It would not be. It would be some sort of intelligence assistance to the government. If the government is the South, it would be some sort of weaponry assistance. It would be something like that. I don't think I would send troops in directly.
Yeah.
I think right now we do have pressing needs back here and at home, and there are more pressing needs around the world as well. But when you start to listen, there's a crisis in the Sudan that no one knows about. There's starvation in the Sudan. There's persecution and lack of food in the Sudan, big time, where tens of thousands will perish. And these are things that we need to concern ourselves about, but the rest of the world needs to come with us to do this.
Yeah, we can't do it alone.
We want to be the spearhead because we are the greatest country on this planet. But we need and we should acquire help from all sides when dealing with certain situations like this. So let's go to what we talked about. So Stephen has jumped the gun on because his answer made no sense in the beginning about tying in the government
My
shutdown.
answer made great sense. No. Why would you go over to Nigeria with a government shutdown?
I didn't even know what you're talking about right now. But let's talk about the government shutdown right now. We're approaching now. We've already hit the deadline. We are into the first 2 days of actually no funding being available for government positions, government jobs,
SNAP
funding. Exactly. So, but now there is some funding out there for SNAP, and it will be executed by this administration because they cleared it with the justice system. As far as what the legality is of doing it, these are backup funds. These are not just funds sitting around. These are backup funds in case of major crises around this country. To be able to back up people's support for food assistance. But since, the great crisis right now is the Democrats not coming to sign the CR bill to continue the government, these funds, these $8 to $9 billion that are left will have to be spent with it. And they will last about a month. So, Dave, I'll throw it out to you right now. Back and forth blaming. Do you see any resolve? I know we're into it now. This will be the longest government shutdown ever. But do you see any resolve coming through as far as the budget being, the CR bill being passed, and then negotiations happening?
So far, not much. Not much is happening there.
The line is drawn.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't follow it every single day, but it seems like there's no desire for the left to work with the right. And I don't know why that is, to be honest, other than the fact that the only thing they care about is their leftist policies and they getting their things through. And it's funny because if the Republicans did this on their end when the Democrats were in power, it would be like it's all on the news every single day. Like, the Republicans are the big bad wolf. Meanwhile, the left, that they have no desire, like they have no power other than blockading this kind of stuff. And yeah, I just the left is the party of evil. That's the way I look at it. And not that there aren't good people that are on the left.
Do you look at it as the left anymore? I don't even look at it as the left anymore. I kind of look at it as a divide. I look at it as two parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. The communists / Democrat socialists.
Right.
And it's then there's people, the one or two actual Democrats that are left. You have a major problem because the problem there's a lot of things happen at the same time. There's increased amount of technology like AI that is forcing companies obviously to automate at high levels and taking away jobs where kids who went to college, who were told they should go to college and that's what they should do.
We talked about
all this debt, and now it's basically just 4 years of partying, because unless you're going to be a doctor, lawyer, or something that requires an advanced degree, you're not going to come out of college with a job, And I think that's the big problem. And I think that a lot of the jobs that are part of this economy are, like all the kids want to be creators. Everyone wants to be a creator, right? It's
influencer,
like
creator. Yep.
Being a successful creator is like being a pro athlete. Like how many of those are going to really, really make it in the way that 10,000 people, maybe 10,000 people, right? So or maybe I could be off. Maybe it was 100. Even if it was 100,000 people, that's such a small number of people that actually make people don't realize. Oh, 100,000 people make it as creators. That's a very small number.
Very
So
rare.
it's to make sizable. So the gig economy, which promised, where people can get their gigs, they work on their own. There's pros and cons to that. It's not steady work, right? Entrepreneurship, which would be really what I think a lot of people should learn to do, but it's a lot more. It's a lot more one or two man entrepreneurs, because there's not with technology. You don't need, even if you're doing a job with construction. You're subbing out most of your work, and it's not like you have employees. You're subbing it out. You're subcontracting it out. You're utilizing technology to do your bids from the apps and stuff. So the the world has changed a lot, and so what that means is that problem solvers are at a premium, and young people are not great problem solvers in general. And this generation that's now coming through is definitely not equipped to problem solve in the same capacity. It's interesting, because when I talk to, like, I don't know how, it's hard for me to remember how I was as a kid, and I don't know if you remember how you were as a kid, but willpower and determination in young people is not innate anymore. Okay. Now I'm not saying that every kid had willpower when I was a kid, but the kids who you would deem to be most likely to be high achievers seem to have willpower. The kids that you would deem to be most likely to be high achievers now don't have as much willpower. You know what I mean? Like, kids who come from either a better situation or show aptitude, their determination is not the same. They don't have determination. It's not like, I don't know. Like,
I think from them being given everything. I mean, when you're given everything and you're not scraping hard to earn your own way through, I think that's a big part of it. Where you have why have determination if you don't have to worry about anything, because everything keeps being brought to you for free.
And they don't understand that when you explain it to them either. So when you explain it to them that, like, or I should say, it's not that they don't, it takes them a lot longer to learn it. Okay. Yeah. So when you explain to them, like, I see it with young kids I coach, I see it with teenagers that I deal with. When you explain to them that you will feel good by you figuring it out, and you were like, it's one thing for me to point you in the right direction and tell you that goes so far. But when you figure it out, when you go do the work to make things happen, you feel good about yourself because you did it, right? And that's a big thing that's lacking in children, young adults, kids coming out of college. They're all looking for their problems to be solved instead of them solving their problems. And that's, partially that's parenting, part of it's society. In the old days, you would say it's parenting determines what's going to happen, right? Like, good parenting, bad parenting in between, would put you in a path, or a path you would have to overcome. Now society has as much of an influence as parenting. And that's a scary thought, because you could do the majority of the right things as a parent and not get through. Whereas in the old days, you could do most of the right things, and you could bet that you would still be the biggest influencer over your children. That's not. Yeah,
Dave. Here's a scary thought right here. Steve, any questions or comments about the government shutdown?
Yeah, I would like to say that the two biggest clips that we had last week were you talking about the entitlement in New York City, how there's a lack of sweat equity. People don't want to go out and work. and Dave talking about kids going to nightclubs and having no social skills, having no ability to interact with women, and they're just on their phone talking to each other, texting each other, not paying attention to anything. There is 100 complete lack of ambition in this country from this generation. They have had everything handed to them. They have had technology handed to them. They have had everything handed to them on a silver platter. They haven't had to put in that sweat equity that you talked about.
Yeah, that's a great answer. But I'd like to go back to rephrase the question again.
Sure.
Do you have any comments about this government shutdown and the direction that it's going in?
Yeah, I think I think that the divide continues to widen. I don't think that we're any closer to coming to an agreement. I don't think they want to come to an agreement. I think that Republicans and Democrats, socialists, communists, whatever you want to call them, they enjoy the government shutdown. They enjoy blaming each other for it, and they use it for reasoning is, how to vote in the midterm election that's coming up tomorrow. They're going to use it in reasoning for the support in the next 4 years for the next president. This government shutdown is going to be one of the major topics that's discussed in the next election terms. I really believe that. And I think that the Democrats want to keep it shut down, because the longer it's shut down, the longer they can hate on Trump, the longer they can blame the Republicans and say, oh, they don't want to pay for this. They don't, and the biggest issue is healthcare. Healthcare of the illegals, healthcare this, healthcare that, the Affordable Care Act. We don't want to spend the trillions of dollars for it. That's their hill to die on, so to speak. That's what they're going with, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And as I said before, they want this to go on until January of 2027, if they could, because I think they are happy with it. And I think that they believe the longer it goes on, the better chance the Democrats, socialists, communists have to have success in getting back into power.
Dave, I'm actually shocked right now, because that was a very comprehensive and coherent answer by the former host of this show. I mean, that was, I give you kudos on that answer right there. That's fantastic.
Well, I listen to the smart people who talk.
Yes, of course.
The people who talk.
I think personally, the longer this goes on, the worse the Democrats look. And the reason being is right now they're saying that they're trying to protect health care. But bottom line, there's a lot of other things involved besides those healthcare premiums that are going to be hurting the average American. Now, did the Republicans say they would sit at the table and talk after the CR would be signed? Of course they would. Of course, there's got to be some give and take. Of course, there's got to be a final clean bill, a final total bill actually voted on. So the Republicans are going to have to concede on certain things. They're going to have to work with Democrats to try to get things, totally ironed out. But what bothers me most is people say the Democrats control the House. Republicans control the House, Republicans control the Senate, and the Republicans control the presidency. And it's their fault that the government is shut down. That is incorrect. If you have no knowledge of how voting goes, House is just a simple majority.
Yeah, it's
for any kind of a vote. But the Senate, you need 60 votes out of 100.
Correct.
Okay, and so right now they need some Democrats to come to the table and vote on this. Besides the three that are there, there were 3 Democrats that have conceded, and they're going to vote for the CR right now. But they need more Democrats to come. So bottom line, the Democrats are the ones that are controlling the cards as far as shutting this government down right now. Now, who's right or who's wrong? You'll never know.
Well, I already know.
We already know. I know by your feeling, but you won't know until they get to the table and they sit and negotiate. That's why the CR, the clean bill, has to be passed immediately. Will it happen? No. I think Democrats are going to live and die on this hill. I think it's going to be, like I said, it's the end of the Democratic Party as we know it, and you're going to see a new wing of the Democratic Party, like you said, the socialist.
But correct me Democrat. If I'm wrong. The CR is only going to extend the current
6 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks. Correct.
So it doesn't solve anything.
No,
All
it doesn't.
It delays the inevitable.
But it delays the inevitable, but it gives them time to see what
to work it out.
They should have negotiated this before.
Correct.
But see, everyone comes up as puffy chest.
Yeah.
You know what puffy chest is?
They want to be tough.
It's like when you're down at the bar and someone says, hey, F you.
Until it's time
and
to
puffy
fight.
chest comes out. And then all of a sudden, somebody throws a blow and that's the guy running out the door, right?
They run away.
So that's what all these politicians, they all come out puffy chest in the beginning and they're all going to fight and they're looking for clips. They're looking for video clips.
Sound bites.
Thank you. They're looking for those sound bites to be able to put out onto the media. So it looks like they're actually doing something for their constituents and for this country. Most of them are not. Most of them aren't doing shit. And that's the big problem too.
That's how they're operating policy on sound bites. That's the
you got to have it. You got to have it, right?
Well, I mean, that's how they get like.
Who out of the Democrats is most sensible? Is what I'd like to know.
What's that?
Who out of the Democrats is most sensible? Like, who is?
Well, right now it's kind of crazy to say, but it looks like Fetterman is the most sensible Democrat that's out there right now. And the guy, a year ago had a stroke, and they thought he was done for.
Because it seems like none of them are sensible. None of them have critical thinking skills.
Dave, did the stroke wake him up? I think the stroke actually threw him into the right direction of governing.
And it just seems like they want to play the blame game with this shutdown. And they want to point the finger at Republicans. And they want to say, Donald Trump, racist, misogynist, Nazi, he's got to go. This is why. He caused this shutdown. And because this happened, now we need to come back into power.
Right.
And I think that's the whole reason they want it to go on.
They can cry all they want about Donald Trump.
They're going to.
For the next 3 years and change, they
stuck.
are stuck with this administration.
Yes.
And if they don't get the ship right, which I don't think they can do, because at this point in time,
they can't. You said Schumer can't cross the line.
No, they can't, because he'll lose his job. And they have no viable candidates.
No.
They have no viable candidates for anything.
No.
You could say AOC and you could say Gavin Newsom. They are not viable candidates.
I heard on the radio on the way up here,
Kamala's making a comeback.
They said
that is the last person they want to see ever again placed in a position of having to vote for.
Hannity did a segment which was funny. He quoted her, and she said that she was they played George Clooney, who was being interviewed.
Yeah,
and he said, "Well, I wish we could have had a primary because Kamala was really judged on her policy." And Hannity started laughing, and he was saying, well, it was her policy that didn't get her elected.
Right.
That was the whole reason.
Right.
And then Hannity said, the word of the day is book. And then he played about 15 different interviews with Kamala where she talked about her book. In my book, I said this. In my book, I did
She's trying to sell it.
I was very cathartic. Writing my book was very cathartic. My book. And as far as I'm concerned, she could take that book and shove it where, because it solved nothing. It told us nothing we didn't already know.
Yeah.
All it did was validate she had no business being in that race.
None.
She had no business being a candidate for president. She had no business being vice president, to be honest. She didn't do anything that you can name that was influential, positive, or beneficial to this country.
Yeah.
Other than hug a lot of people and read to kids.
Yeah.
I mean, really, what did she do? And who was the old guy she married? Charlie, whoever. The guy, Dave, you always bring up. Dave, are you frozen?
He has frozen himself out of the conversation.
Who's the Charlie guy? You always say she had an affair with some older guy.
Oh, you mean the guy who was in charge of San Francisco, basically?
Yeah.
Charlie Brown?
No, he always used to say, I got two words for you. Willie Brown. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's what she's best known for. She's known for Willie Brown hugging people and being probably
putting away people for weed in California.
She worked the least amount of probably any vice president in the history of the vice presidency. And it's obscene. I think she showed up at 10 o'clock and probably left at 2 and took an hour for lunch. She did absolutely nothing. And she was thrust into this position. And as Frank said, it was because it was they did it basically as a shot at Obama because he didn't want her, and Biden forced her in, and she was the least qualified candidate. And when I actually had a chance to watch the debate and saw how embarrassing they looked on stage together, like if she was president right now, would we be in the situation we're in with Israel and Hamas and potentially, having a chance to negotiate some sort of a peace deal?
No,
with Russia and Ukraine.
The foreign policy was the foreign policy. That was just like a closed door.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Biden had
saying.
Closed door foreign policy had nothing to do with it. All they wanted to do is for 4 years or maybe another 4.
And eat ice cream cones.
They want to shell out money.
Yeah,
they want to just print it and shell it out to groups, NGOs, organizations, to be able to garner support for voting time.
Yeah, that's like Oprah, here for you. Here's 1,000 for you. 1,000 for you.
And to do that is idiotic. It's insanity. It was insanity. We know that. That's where
that's what got us in the problem.
Well, right now, Dave. Right now, with the healthcare, with Obamacare.
Oh.
So the assistance that's going away, that they keep saying they want to take healthcare away from people, most of that was created during COVID. So those were all COVID subsidies,
COVID dollars
that were tacked on there to help people during the pandemic. And now they just want to keep that on there. Now, granted, I know my healthcare is not cheap. I pay for it. I understand.
It is expensive.
But
yes.
all of this went up when Obamacare was implemented over the course of X amount of years.
Correct.
The Obamacare has guided to higher costs. Absolutely, it does. And it would. They said it's going to lower your costs, and it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean,
because we're paying for people who can't afford it.
It's been proven time and time again that it did not lower costs. So what this administration is trying to do is get a grip on that. Now, do they have to cut up all the subsidies at once? No. I think it could be a tier program. It could be something built in that would be a little slower and a little easier for people to swallow. But that's something that could be done at the negotiating table for the entire budget. But they can't do that because right now the government shut down because the Democrats refused to at least get the CR going, so they'd have a 6-week period to talk about all this. And they don't want to do it. And that's my I just wish people would wake up and see that. That's the death knell. That is going to be the death knell to the Democratic Party. There are going to be 3 parties in this country, not counting the Green Party and the Libertarian, because they don't care squat.
What about the Tea Party?
You're not the Tea Party. You're going to have the Republican, you're going to have the GOP, you're going to have the Democratic Party, and then you're going to have the Socialist Democrats all the way far to the left. And that seems to be where everything is starting to get based around, and as far as election and voting in this country. We need more parties, but that party is going to ruin everything. It's going to trash everything.
No, it is going to trash everything. And I think
aren't going to stand for it. They're not going to stand for that kind of. You can't. You're looking at the mayor's race in New York City, and some guy says, "Come out, we're just going to get you this free."
I think it's great.
Control, free
transit, and affordable housing,
and take more money from the. Yes, take more money from the. You're going to car, yeah. You can,
he's going to get elected by a landslide.
You see the report, and granted, you know what? Reports are reports, and what they're good for. Who knows what they're good for? But bottom, they say between 800,000 and 1 million people could exit New York City if Mamdani wins. That's insane.
It is, and they're going to leave the biggest city in the country.
They will go.
In the world. I'm sorry,
because bottom line, they can have just a good life somewhere else if they're that have that kind of cachet of money. They can have a good life somewhere else. They'll still have their property here in New York. They'll liquidate a little bit at a time and get out.
Yeah, I mean, I just Airbnb it, to be honest with you. You get a fortune for it. He can't control Airbnb.
It's a mess right now, and I don't know how it's going to get solved overnight.
Well, what are the chances? I mean, Chuck Schumer, he's old. I mean, is he
Yes.
going to step down or get voted out anytime soon?
No. You have to understand.
How many more terms does he have?
He can have as many terms as he wants.
I know he can, but realistically, how many more years?
There's no realism anymore. It's all fantasy land. Okay?
Well, we can't cryogenically freeze him.
Sure, you can. He's already frozen. Listen, here's you can list the guys right now. You can list Chuck Schumer, Chuck Grassley from Iowa. That guy's got to be in his 90s. He's
in his 90s.
Maxine Waters got to be in the late 80s, early 90s. I don't know. There's a congresswoman down in Texas who's the oldest one. She's in her 90s. They just
keep winning it, and they run on a post.
They have to wheel her around. She drools. Just like they did. Who was the other one? They just they remember what the heck was her name? My God, 2 years ago she was so prominent, and then she had to pull back because she had Alzheimer's. They were wheeling her around in a wheelchair, and she was tilted over like she was basically a dead corpse. And
she was like voting and making like critical decisions.
And then she was letting her staffers were voting for her.
Well, it was like Biden with the rubber pen,
right? It's all.
I mean, you got to do it. So
my point being, and look at what's his name from Kentucky over there. He looks like a toad or a lizard. He had a stroke or something. He's in his 80s. Lindsey Graham. What I'm trying to get at is that it's like it's an intoxication. Power and money is intoxicating.
Of course it is.
And the older you are, the more you need of it once you've tasted it. These guys, they're not going to drop out and say, "Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to step back now." Bullshit. They want the money. They want the power.
If I had money and power, I would have someone manipulate my jaw and chew my food and then rub my throat to swallow it.
You'd be thinner.
Yes.
That's great.
But I mean, realistically speaking, how long is it going to take before anyone will come to the table and seriously negotiate reopening the government?
I hope this goes on as long as possible. In the beginning, I do too. Over with.
You said 10 days.
I thought you said
10 days.
It'll never get to this point because you know why? I'd never gotten to this point.
No, and I said, 35 days it got to.
The Democrats want to play with fire. They want to show they have some cojones because realistically,
some gumption.
Realistically, this administration and Trump and personally has stepped on them. He squashed them like the cockroaches that they are. And
he did it in 8 months.
And the Democrats now they keep looking at. Doesn't everyone have a spine, a backbone? Isn't anyone go? No, they don't.
No, because they're splintered.
What they do is they gather in groups. They gather in large groups. They paint their hair. They
purple and blue.
Exactly. They make signs all the time.
And they like transgenders.
All these politicians get together. They all get in front of the camera and they all pick it. They all scream and shout and yell. Yes. And then this president comes in and goes, "You're all fools. I'm passing this bill here."
Dave, I forgot to ask you. Wait.
Okay.
Aren't
asking what did you want to ask Dave?
My Uncle Tom wanted to know what Dave's thoughts on Jack Ciattarelli were winning the governor's race.
He's 1 point away right now.
Oh, wow. He's made up that much ground?
Yes.
So do you think he realistically has a shot to win then?
He's got a chance. I mean, it's tough. New Jersey's tough, but he's got a chance.
Yeah.
I think he's
Will it make that much of a difference with him winning? Oh, his device was disconnected. But I mean,
what do you mean?
I mean, with him winning, will it change the state of New Jersey significantly?
Dramatically.
It will. Dramatically. Jack Ciattarelli.
Just as far as budgeting and taxes assured.
Yeah. Right.
And policy too.
And my father had wanted to know with Hochul in 2026, who do you think her top opponent could be?
It'll be Elise Stefanik.
It will be Elise Stefanik.
He
likes Elise Stefanik.
She's great. I love her.
Yeah.
And you like Elise Stefanik. You think she'll do a good job.
Oh, she's great. She's great.
But otherwise, I was just curious, of the midterm elections that are coming up tomorrow, are there any that we need to be cognizant of and watch for that will, make a difference one way or another? With the government shutdown, with swinging the vote count?
No, I think you're the Virginia race and the New Jersey race are really the focal points of TV right now,
correct.
Media. You know what I mean? So no, you'd like to have a swing in those if you're conservative. You'd like to get a Republican. I think Virginia is a little much harder grab than New Jersey right now. I think the I think the spread's a little bit bigger in New Jersey than what they're saying at one point. A lot of times you can't trust these.
Yeah, they're
these
all
polls when they come out the last minute.
Well,
it's
Trump,
like they're
Trump
saying
was
now
going to lose by 1 million.
They're like, Andrew Cuomo is pulled in. It's real tight, like 6-point lead. You know what I mean? So I mean, they're still now. If Curtis Sliwa would back out of the race, which I thought he was going to do today, and he did.
That's the killer. That is the killer.
It makes no sense. I'm wondering if a Democrat's paying him.
Do you really think if he did back out that Cuomo
it's a
would
50-50
win?
race. Yeah.
It would be 50-50?
Yeah. Or if the 800,000 people that are going to leave New York City would come out and all vote, then Cuomo would win. Because the voting is so small, 300,000, 400,000 voting. I mean,
that's all they're going to get.
They had not throughout, but that could swing everything.
Right.
Because right now, I think they've had they did early voting and they got about 700,000 ballots in so far.
Really?
Right. But led by all the youth.
That's got to go too.
Led by all the youth.
I think you were right.
Early voted.
You said that last year. The whole mail-in and early voting, that's got to go.
Well, Trump says that too.
I mean, you just got to go to the polls and vote.
Right.
And
but these people have gone to the polls. They have early.
I don't think it should happen.
Early balloting.
Yeah, because you can tamper with it too much.
No, I mean, I think you got
There's
to have
too much
that
room for error.
Some people can't do that. Plus, you have to have some mail, and the military has to have mail. And people that work in foreign countries.
Yes, that I understand. That's what it was for.
Yeah, but not the ones that go around house to house and to give you ballots to mail. Right.
Because of COVID, we've gotten so used to the mail-in and early voting that it has corrupted our voting society. And there's been scandals. Like, I still believe the 2020 election was stolen.
I listen, there's a lot. There's a ton
of proof behind that.
There's a lot behind that. And the thing is that
but nobody will name names, and it's probably going to go unsolved.
The easiest one was ballot harvesting.
That was ridiculous.
They'll go knock on your door. They say, "Did you get a mail-in ballot? Can I give you $50 for the mail-in ballot?"
Yeah, they were doing it at the nursing homes.
So those are the things, and more than people are like, "Oh, it's only a few people." No, it's not a few people. There's been many instances that have been reported, and I can imagine the ones that did not get reported. So yeah, and all that kind of voting's got to get banned, but it won't happen. It'll keep going.
Okay, why don't you two just talk amongst yourselves? You sound like a bunch of assholes, and that's not the Republican way. I really don't want to sit on this dumbass channel anymore. Well, Zap 1, I am sorry. I did not mean to be a dumbass and talk amongst ourselves and sound stupid.
So you're saying
he wants us to speak to him,
right?
Well,
are you saying you're a Republican and you want us to talk? Want us to promote?
Well, he said that we were talking. We sound like a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
And it's not the Republican way.
No.
And somebody asked, what do you think of America giving money to Israel and Argentina? And I don't think we should be giving money to anyone because of our government shutdown. We can't take care of ourselves. So it's not meant to sound like an asshole. It's meant to say we're not taking care of our own. And if we can't take care of our own, we can't take care of anyone else, whether that be abroad, whether that be in Nigeria, the Sudan. We can't do it. We're not taking care of our own people.
Trump has the ability to, which he doesn't have on these programs that are out of his budget, so he has the ability to do stuff within the executive office. But the government shutdown is it's a problem, but Trump doesn't have control over the government shutdown. You understand?
No, there's nothing he can do. All he can do is
it's a different
animal.
Government. So he has
the money in Argentina is questionable. I think the money to Israel, it serves us a purpose.
Yeah,
and if you don't know what that purpose is, as far as national security,
have to ask our senior political correspondent.
About the money behind the guy who's in charge there, the conservative, or
Argentina.
Yeah,
in Argentina, they're trying to overthrow who's there right now, or become a. And so he's funding some. I don't know where the money.
And Israel is obviously Mossad, like Tyler says.
Mossad.
But David said last he heard Chuck Schumer's mother was in her hundreds and still alive. So Chuck Schumer is going to be alive for a while.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what district is he? Well, he's a senator.
He's a state senator.
Okay, so does the whole state vote for him?
The whole state.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if I don't vote for him, it's not really going to matter.
Well, it's not going to matter. You're going to vote against him, so you're going to give a vote hopefully to the other side.
Right, but he's still going to get enough votes.
Most likely, because we are still a Democratic state.
What do you think about Trump taking out the Venezuelan? So there's a whole thing with like the gang cartels,
and all that kind of drug boats. Yeah. I'm in.
I like that.
I'm in total favor of that. That's going to be my next question that got brought up, and all of a sudden I've got bumped to the side again because Steve is having a coronary that he can't ask.
I didn't have a coronary.
You were playing around with your microphone
reading the questions.
It was your dick. On the drug boats. Here's the thing.
Yeah, it's funny, Dave. Thanks.
You think, and people are like, we don't know who they're killing on these boats. We don't know who they're. Okay, so you think the United States government is targeting fishermen?
Yeah, they're
targeting. They're
going after Moby
vacationers.
Yeah,
I haven't heard one complaint yet from a Venezuelan national to a news agency down there that says, "Oh, my Miguel went out on a boat 3 days ago and I can't find him anymore." So obviously, these people that are on these boats are criminals. They're drug dealers. They're drug peddlers. They're drug smugglers. Easy way to get rid of them, an easy way to curtail drugs coming in your country is to eliminate that problem.
Yeah, and it's made obviously a huge difference. They took out several boats containing fentanyl, and that's not allowing it to come into our country. And that is the best way that we can go about controlling the war on drugs, unless we make fentanyl illegal. I mean, that's the only other thing, which I know they do in Boston. And other places.
How does that make the Democratic Party look?
They're for it, actually.
The Democratic Party is like, stop killing the drug dealers.
No, but I mean, in Boston, Michelle Wu, I guess, who isn't the figure skater,
who's coming through,
and Ayanna Presley. I mean, they were for the safe shooting sites. So, like I said, they had this blocked off where you could go and do your business, and they would watch you for 10 minutes, and then you would go to work.
Yeah, stop controlling.
They made drugs legal.
The drug dealers. Stop killing the drug dealers.
Stop killing the drug dealers. Let our people use their drugs and legalize it.
Great.
But the other thing I wanted to bring up.
Legalize it.
The other thing I wanted to bring up, because it was a major scandal, was the NBA gambling situation. You know, gambling has brought in.
You know who Peter Tosh is?
Yes.
I know. Frank definitely must.
Peter Tosh.
Do you know who who Peter Tosh is?
No.
His most famous song is "Legalize It."
That's right.
Are you talking like Tosh Point?
He was talking about marijuana, though. He wasn't talking about heroin.
No. But I was saying the NBA gambling situation. The United States has benefited tremendously from the revenue from gambling, and we've seen scandal after scandal. Do you think that gambling regulations or gambling has to be revisited despite the revenue that it's generating for our country?
How are you going to corral that animal back into the cage?
Well, I'm not saying corral it. I'm saying maybe there's a different way to regulate it. Maybe you go back on some of the prop bets. I mean, because a lot of the money were made on prop bets that aren't monitored as much as obviously the game bets are.
Yeah.
So that's where you're seeing, Chauncey Billups and all these people get suspended for not playing certain players and their scoring. But this is, I mean, it's only happened that we've at least seen in the NBA. And I think it may have happened in Major League Baseball with balls and strikes. But, I mean, do you think it's close to happening in football, college football. I mean,
my buddy made $3,000 last night on the Washington Seattle game on prop bets, just going through drive after drive. He goes, they were on fire scoring. And I don't think you're going to see any curtail in that whatsoever. I think
doing drugs was looked down upon.
What's that?
Somebody commented, remember when doing drugs was looked down upon?
I know. Now it's a celebration of life.
Now it's don't kill the drug dealer.
Listen, we're gonna have a get together at the restaurant. We're gonna do a celebration of life because Bobby just went on his third round of heroin. Congratulations, Bobby.
His third relapse. Yes, congratulations indeed. Yeah, that was my question. So gambling is becoming an issue. You don't think there's any way to change it?
You've opened up the door to the Pandora's boxes.
Just like the NCAA with the NIL and all that.
Done. You can't do it now. What I think can happen is you're going to see more government investigation.
Well, they do have AI that monitors the betting and the prop bets. And
but
if the money swings,
you'll have that FBI. It's going to go back to like what it was in the 30s in Chicago with
the Black Sox,
with Al Capone. No, really.
The IRS caught Capone.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to backtrack books on people. I'm telling you, you're going to see old school
bookies you're saying
stuff come back where they're gonna arrest people.
Okay.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So DraftKings is going to go obsolete and they're just going to go back to old school bookies.
If there's any kind of regulation or clamps put on that, they're going to go back underground. Absolutely.
Gambling addiction is coming back in big numbers.
It is it's making a comeback.
It is making a big comeback.
LL Cool J talked about that. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
It is true. Yeah. But realistically speaking, tomorrow is election day.
Yeah.
There aren't any huge races that really are going to make a difference other than everyone's curious to see what's going to happen in New York City. And Mamdani is obviously going to run away with that. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty tame. The government shutdown is no closer to being ended. They're not going to do the CR or whatever and extend it or whatever to negotiate. Yeah. And both sides believe they're right. And the longer that it goes, the better it's going to be for them. And in reality, like you said, it's going to be worse for the Democrat, socialist, communists.
Well, it's going to be worse for that whole side. I just think the longer it goes, the more it's going to look petty on their side.
Yes, because they went through all this and they're not going to get what they want.
If they're for the people are immediately suffering. The health benefits aside, they're immediately suffering. So how do you take care of that? Pass the budget and then get some negotiations going and then try to help your people.
But Dave, as far as the healthcare goes, do you think that the Republicans will concede some money to the Affordable Care Act, to healthcare, to provide something for illegals, to at least try to get back to the table and get some of this, started and hopefully end the shutdown, or no?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you do it.
I don't either. I think it's come too far. I think both sides are too dug in, and I think that they're both happy to see it go on. And I legitimately believe that there's like joy that the government shut down, and they can blame each other. And
they don't have to go to work.
Well, that too, and
they don't have to go to work.
And Stephen A. Smith said it best when he was on the Hill. He said, "All y'all, Congress and senators, you get paid. They should be taking your checks and giving it to the federal workers who aren't getting paid, who are being furloughed." And then my last question was, if when it does miraculously end up, coming to an end, are they gonna paying back all these furloughs? Is that gonna be like a huge expense?
No, the money's there. The money's just frozen.
The money's there. It's just frozen.
It's just frozen. Okay. It's just frozen because they have no permission to use it.
Okay. All right.
Frozen.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dave, we're gonna wrap things up here. Yeah, it was a great show. Frank did a great job hosting.
Well, I feel like I've just fallen off the throne of hosting. You've sort of taken back the whole sway.
I have not. I'm just trying to keep things. I'm keeping on track. And
no, I think bottom line.
Is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
No, I'm the host. I really don't need to discuss.
Is there any questions? Are there anything else you'd like to throw out there?
Questions that I've missed out there? Well. No, I don't think I think we've sort of covered everything. It's just with ICE.
Let's go ICE. Yeah. I love ICE.
Yeah. So with ICE right now, we're still seeing a lot of activity in the major cities. We're still seeing illegals being grabbed at
we've talked about
different areas and all that, right? So are we seeing stories of any irregularities with their grabbings? In other words, are there citizens they've grabbed? Are there people that can stay in the country that have visas? What exactly have you seen?
I have read that occasionally there have been illegals released, but it's few and far between.
Right.
Where they may have visas or they may have permission to asylum or whatever to stay in this country.
So they are going through.
You can't play that because we don't have copyright. Turtle Boy taught me that. Turtle Boy can't play anything with music on his channel because of copyrights. So you have to delete it out because they hit you with the YouTube is gone. I
know they don't let you have any fun. That's all right.
Yeah, they don't let you have any fun. Yeah, we'll just get copyright cited and demonetized. Yeah, we'll do all that. That's good. But no, ICE has tried to release people, but I'm still on the side with Dave. Even though they may be paying taxes, even though they may have jobs, even though they may have families living clean lives, if they're in this country illegally, they got to go. And I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care where they're from.
I'm not on that bus.
I know you're not on that bus, but the bottom line is Americans are suffering. Americans are losing out on jobs.
Some Americans do need to suffer. I feel. I feel some Americans are lazy.
They are lazy.
Some Americans are milking the system.
They do. They're very good at it too.
Some Americans abuse the system.
They're very good at it.
I feel some Americans have no respect for the system,
and they don't.
And so
they want everything handed to them.
Why do I want to help them?
Because they're American.
Doesn't matter.
And I don't want to help the illegals. Because they're illegals.
I don't mind if the guy's been illegal and he hasn't done anything to harm anyone.
Then go do it. Then go be legal in your own country.
Well, he came here for a better. My father was an immigrant.
Yes, but that was a different time. That was in like the 40s and the 50s when we wanted immigrants.
Right, but what I'm saying is that
we're swelling.
We want immigrants.
No, we don't.
Yes, of course we do.
We're swelling in population in America.
Not swelling in population in America. We need. Listen.
You think we need people?
We need people that we know will be hardworking.
The sweat equity. I know. You said the sweat equity.
We need that because the Americans that are milking the system.
Yes.
The Americans that are not showing up to work. The ones that are collecting the government checks. The ones that are having babies so they can get more SNAP money.
That's smart.
Those are not going to be the ones we want to support.
Then I think they should put a limit on who should be able to go to college. They should limit the number of people who should be allowed to go to college every year. And then you'll get sweat equity because then you'll have people going to trade schools and starting businesses.
These people, many of these people that came over were looking just for a better opportunity in life, which they did not have in their own country.
I know. Then go to another country. Go to Canada.
Okay, Canada.
Go to England.
Okay,
go to Ireland.
Yes.
Don't come here.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, they're here now, and they've been here sometimes for 10, 15, 20 years.
They have. And it's a sad story.
And they haven't.
I feel for them.
They haven't done anything wrong in the eyes of the law. And they haven't. Except, yes, they did break the rule of coming across the border.
And my heart bleeds for them.
So, no, it doesn't.
It bleeds for them.
You're full of shit.
But it's time to go.
But bottom line.
They can go be successful in their own country.
No, they can't. And once they leave, they can't come back to this country for at least 10 years.
I've heard that, yes.
10 years.
Yes, and that's great. That's great. They can't come back for 10 years. So now more American people can have American babies. And we can populate our own country.
Have you seen some of the people in West Virginia? You want them having more babies?
Well, West Virginia, I mean, there's a lot of incest that goes on there. So I wouldn't want that. Yeah. I don't want incest babies.
Yeah.
But Dave, would you like to chime in there? Okay, you just want to get us copyright infringement. I just feel like Dave feels if you're illegal.
So here's what I feel about illegals. I've said this 9,000.
My heart bleeds for them, but you got to go.
We should remove the vast majority of them.
Yes.
If they were here for all those years, the dreamers, and they were not causing trouble, and they're not in our path of that we're getting rid of, I don't think it's worth pursuing all that. I think well, I a lot of them that will get caught up in that were here for a long time that might get caught up in sweeps of somebody else. It's going to happen. But I don't know that they should get a path to citizenship either. Because
they came here illegally. They could have come here legally. They chose not to. Henceforth, go home. And let America repopulate America. And then we won't have Islams in 2070. How about that? Because the Islams have like 6 kids. And that's why we're going to be Islamic in 2070.
The Islams.
The Muslims. The Muslims. They have 6 kids.
Muslims aside, I think the majority of the talk is about Hispanics.
Well, in the Hispanics, they have 10 babies.
But that's okay. They're Catholic. So
they're not. I want them gone too. They can go back to Venezuela or Colombia.
My thing is here: if no one has brought harm to the country, I'm okay with them.
But they are bringing harm.
How are they bringing?
They're taking paychecks away from Americans.
The Americans don't want to do the job.
We don't know that.
I know that.
Maybe 100%. They applied and the illegal got the job.
You want to go out and pick fruit?
Do I want to pick fruit?
Yeah. Because that's a lot of the jobs they're doing.
I'm
disabled.
I'm disabled. I can't pick fruit.
You're not physically disabled.
I can't pick fruit.
Sure, you can.
I don't know.
Do you want to work on a kitchen line in the city? That's basically a lot of them are working on kitchen lines in the city. So
I'd be a great host.
Yeah, a host. We don't.
I can talk.
That's a typical white privileged answer.
That's all I heard.
Yeah.
I can talk.
I don't want to wash the wine glasses. I want to be the master sommelier. I could be the master sommelier.
What's a sommelier?
Sommelier. Okay. All right. Let's move on.
What's the sommelier?
Are we done yet?
No, I'm just curious. What's a sommelier?
A sommelier is a master wine taster.
Oh no, I can't do. So I would have brought gummies or something, so we all could have gotten high.
I can't believe you don't know who Tosh is.
You know what? We should do that one show. I'll bring gummies and we'll eat gummies and get it whacked.
You know, Peter Tosh was in a movie, Robin Williams.
Was he really?
It was an '80s movie.
Mark and Mindy?
Williams, no, that was a movie. It was a movie, and they had a resort in Jamaica, or an island resort. I can't remember the name.
Was that the one that Cocktail?
No,
but I think that's a good idea.
Not a bad guess by you. I'll give you that. That wasn't a horrible guess. Cocktail?
No, it wasn't a Cocktail. Come on.
I think my idea is great. I think that one night I should bring some edibles.
Cocktail, the movie?
Of course I did. I love cocktail. I've always wanted to bartend like that, but I'll break glass everywhere.
I had a Frank joke. I had a Frank joke going into my head when you said you love cocktail. I just had this.
Well, I almost blew up Frank's Pizzeria, so that counts. But I almost blew up Frank's Pizzeria. Yeah. About 20 years ago. Yeah. We got lucky on that one. That we almost went down. Down in smoke.
Yeah.
And it was funny because Frank wasn't there. And my friend and I, Frank's head assistant, came back and with the fire extinguisher, put it out.
Yeah.
And he told us, he said, you know what? Frank's not here. He said, I think you guys should just take the day off. Just leave now. Leave before he gets back.
I'm sorry, David. It wasn't Peter. It wasn't Peter Tosh. It was Jimmy Cliff. My bad.
So this was a banner episode. I think we got a lot done.
Well, I'm going to have to take over the reins again from Steve and finish off the show.
I think we've proven that I am the greater host.
No.
You by far, absolutely.
I had to let you talk a little bit. I could see you were fumbling around with the mic. You were nervous as hell.
I wasn't nervous as hell. I was trying to get the sound right.
When Dave spoke for 5 or 6 minutes straight, you were almost losing. I could see the blood pressure rising. I could see the eyes, the ADD taking over. You looking up into the ceiling. So
I was just looking at the score.
I just, hey, listen, for Steve Cully and Coach Schumann, I'm probably your new forever podcast host, Frank Cristiano. I just want to say, when life gives you lemons, take those lemons, squeeze them, and make lemonade. You add a little bit of sugar because right now there are no SNAP benefits, so there's no sense throwing anything back at life.